Ha! And if you saw him kill manlings, you'd have to yell, Fa!
Perhaps it's time I started my research for a guide to anywhere but here. Ta-ta!
After all, I'm quite certain I once saw one expire from the strain of spelling his own name.
As you wish. But when your skin starts to peel away, remember Volo offered to help. If what you say were true, you'd be a mind flayer by now. Over here!
If you are to repay what you owe, then there is no time to waste. Start at the beginning.
Really, none of it would have been possible without me.
First, you'll need a name. But how am I to ensure your most deserved renown without a suitably thrilling title? My friend, I am engaged in celebration in its purest form. Commemoration!
Wonderful! I can scarcely think of anyone more suitable.
Goblins were of a rare, jam-coloured hue and wielded magic blowguns. Really? Well, this does complicate things. But then again, well, never mind.
Ah, my grizzled friend. What can you tell me about this place? Witness declined to comment on nature of dragon. Witnesses noticed red dragon marching at rear. That blood flow is quite turgid.
What are you doing? I'm busy here.
Perhaps I spoke in haste, Your insights would, of course, be most welcome.
Very good. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were trained to.
Well, I will be at your service once I've been freed from this ensconcement. Speaking of which,
It is said the children of Bhaal are claimed throughout their sleep, ever disturbed by visions of a life of bloodshed and terror. All the coast shall read my writings of your triumph! Ha! Bhaal's seed has been wasted, spilled on the ground once again.
Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
your story may be relevant, but the stench of this place is hardly suited to civilized conversation.
I believe you will save this city.
I'm writing an account of your glorious victory.
A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest.
Quite right. But it is not Orin herself who has marked me for death. It is her dread master.
The book seems to have escaped from me. I had it when I arrived at your camp, so I'm sure you'll find it somewhere hereabouts. You there! Hello! Ha! Look at this! I'm quite saved!
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking, well.
Then please, a favour. Notable figure, too. Notable figure.
But the saga of the Bhaal spawn is not the story of a hero fighting alone against their own bloody inheritance.
Alas, alack, a rap, a dash. Keep their confidence, if you insist. I'd heard the master of this place, a druid called Halsin, might be able to point me in the right direction. Well, I suppose this is goodbye, my friend. I wish you the greatest of luck, and I hope I shall recall you favourably in my records of the day's events.
No, I mean, we've met, but only for the briefest of consultations.
It is possible you could turn it against the city's enemies, but it would be better to purge yourself of Bhaal's influence entirely.
I do hope you have partaken of something bracing. This may well take us all night. Witness believes themselves to be a dragon, possibly deluded. Far too much. This is the very problem. If you could set aside your many triumphs, carry out one defining act, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities? No, I'm afraid that won't do. You shall simply have to go out and slay something decidedly more dramatic. Would that we could speak freely, my ursine friend. Still, there'd be no harm in me taking a teensy look, would there? I know all the signs. Transforming. Glimmering. Volo Gedam, realm-renowned author, and now, it appears, very much your captive. Should my writing favour facts over form, it is only to keep pace with events. Witness believes herself to be dragon, possibly deluded. But if you won't tell me, no matter. A truth is second best to the truth. Please, try not to overexert yourself. You're in a rather fragile state at present. Witness believes himself to be dragon, possibly deluded. Ridiculous though such a claim may be, a mind flayer is a terrible thing to be. There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Thinking, my dear Gribbelina, just thinking.
Not an accusation, an observation based on a thorough knowledge of your kind. And I note that your retort was not a denial.
And yet I found it nonetheless. Such is the nature of Volo Gedam, author and interrogator of mysteries. Once I've written you into one of my books, there won't be a tavern in Faerun you can enter without receiving a hero's welcome. Now, I've a few more questions, if you don't mind. Never you mind. I'm on my way to their camp as we speak. I always knew my studies in Gukliak would come to some use. Why? He's a meatier creature than any I've spied. Oh, Balderdash. But I dare say you're committed now, my friend. So chin up, look around, and remember your role. Are you familiar with the process of ceremorphosis? That is what happens when a mind flayer parasite infects a living host. Aha, there you are. Come now, settle in.
No, please, no. I'm innocent.
I know you had a purpose, though I'll grant that I'm quite in the dark as to what it was. Might you elaborate?
There's been a misunderstanding. I'm telling the truth.
Whoever this absolute they're worshipping might be, I'll be the first to write about it. Now, don't move. That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceremorphosis by now. And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety? Forgive my surprise. It's rare to find your kind above ground. Rare and intriguing on a day already packed with intrigue.
Then perhaps we have hope yet.
I intend to do just that. A trusty invisibility potion goes a long way in a place like this.
Still, perhaps Irenicus's study will help you to work out some techniques for your own beastly form.
Oh, but you must mean Zevler and the lot. I spent some time with them myself. Kind, if underfortunate people. Curious. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in. The Grove, for example. Its destruction was quite necessary to your purpose, I have no doubt.
Once they have seen too much, once these dreams drive their minds to break, they are beset by the Slayer.
Worth? Volo Gedam takes the matter of names most seriously. The very heart of my dilemma. You are the doer of deeds. I, the mere chronicler.
I'll slip away when the coast is clear. See you soon, my friend. I simply can't wait to pick your brain.
There. The last frothing innard catalogued.
Yes, I'm quite aware.
Perhaps you should visit a healer. You could have them check on your eye at the same time.
My, a scholar after my own heart.
Spent much time among goblins?
It's not a lie. If you would just listen, I could explain.
Don't fidget. The needle must slip behind your eye, not through it.
Ah, a ruse! You've played the part admirably, if I may say so.
But if you're content for your heroics to be reduced to theatrical fancies, I shan't stand in your way. It is a study of the Slayer, and may give you a much-needed edge when you face Bhaal's chosen.
If I was less educated, I presume to ask what you're doing on the Sword Coast.
Those uniformed clods would have had to blow me to pieces for simply trying to keep the public informed. Whatever happened to respecting the truth, Anyway.
Quite the gathering, rife with fascinating characters.
This is your saga, my friend, and I hope I shall have the honor of documenting its happy conclusion.
To be heard.
My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable.
Investigating the absolute. Goblins. New god.
It is a beast of unspeakable violence that consumes all in its path, including the soul of the one who is host to it. Wait! No! Stop! Oh, you scallywag! Why, your editor's quill may be into the sterling scribe I am today.
Laugh if you dare, recoil if you must.
I myself plan to record the world's most extensive catalogue of their means and habits. A blue ocean of information, I dare say. No, your actions in the Grove were most heroic. But I'm afraid this is a matter of style, not sentiment. It seems that following one story has tipped me headlong into another, yours, and I truly can't wait to write it. Drat. Then I suppose I'll have to stitch together the truth with naught but my own good sense.
Now, you could have tried to stop them before they set me on fire.
Though at present my curiosity lies elsewhere than the vagaries of the children of Gith. Ah, well, no need to involve your guests, I should think.
Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high.
My friend, are you responsible for the slaughter of these goblins?
That explosion, that was you, wasn't it? Don't worry, I won't pry. But whatever it was you did, it saved my life.
Unreal god. Unheard of. Spread like a plague.
Perhaps you would hazard a guess as to why the mob turned on me?
When I came to investigate, they invited me to stay. Rather permanently. Fear not. I am content and quite forgotten where I am. Better in a cell than in a stew, what?
As a matter of fact, I do. But why do you?
There. Last dismembered limb, catalogued. My next piece was meant to be an exposé on the local goblins and their absolute.
If you hadn't saved me from that mob, I'd be penning a guide to the afterlife based on first-hand experience.
Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates?
I wish you luck, my friend. And I hope that when I see you again, you'll be in one piece. 2 or 3 at most.
Be you beguiling or be you beheaded?
A shame, really. Still so much to learn from this little scallywag.
Smashing! Ta for now, my friend. Only for now. I have no doubt. But such grand deeds as yours often require interpretation. The Grove, for example.
That can't be. A gold dragon! How marvelous!
It will serve you well. A study of the Slayer penned by John Irenicus. It's one of a kind, so do try to keep it away from the inevitable bloodbath. I'll tell you what I know, but not here. Too many eyes, ears, weapons about. Meet me at your camp.
Aha! A timely intervention. As there's not a tentacle on your head, I can only assume you haven't been infected.
Actually, slaying a dragon would prove quite helpful, mind. Optimist that I am. I hope you are of similar heroic vintage.
So, raise it, your goblets, and drain them with pride. Draw Ragslin, the true soul, had led you glide.
That way, perhaps we'll both survive the night. I had hoped my instincts regarding your heritage were correct, and that you were of similar heroic vintage. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
Perhaps that's for the best. I'd be irresponsible not to debunk such a strange claim.
Of course you didn't. History is but a series of accidents, after all, both happy and heinous.
Oh, what's a bit of metal between allies, I'll do one better. Regrettable. Mark my words, ceremorphosis will be far more painful than this procedure.
In fact, I dare say the Absolute would have secured victory without my efforts. It is not the eyes that I fear, it is the intelligence behind them. The Absolute is merely the outward form of something far more insidious. Come here a moment, will you? Take Irenicus's A Study of the Slayer, and when you face Soren, be sure your friend is by your side.
What? No, but please, you misunderstand.
Mountains, great mortals, all ginders to quake.
Marvelous! The people do like a returning favorite.
I'll tell you. If you'd be so good as to answer a few questions pertaining to the goblins you encountered at the gates. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
With the accompaniment of cacophonous tunes and gaudy dancing, no doubt. I shudder to think.
Why, goblins, obviously. Well, someone ought to chronicle these curious events. You're hardly my first, my friend. With a curious mind and a good pair of walking shoes, one makes many an acquaintance.
And what will you do with that power? Slaughter the city? Brutalize the world?
Still, not the worst function I've presided over.
I believe you will be.
I think I have it. You there, a friendly face. You haven't the looks about you of one of those cultists. No, sir.
I am simply saying that you are a creature of ambition, drive, intent.
Are you certain? We're nearly there. Terribly sorry, my friend. Wise.
I have a particular set of extraordinary skills, but fighting the bestial avatars of murderous gods is not among them.
Volo, get on. My mother's son. The story never told. The passing. Beautiful.
Not to belittle your achievements to date, of course, but besting a dragon, a giant, a god, perhaps?
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. Goblins struck fear and awe in heart of wilting witness. The decor in this cell is fascinating. Help me, and I'll make sure everyone in Faerun knows you for the hero you are.
I do hope you didn't catch anything. I'm sure an itching conscience is quite enough.
Volo's fate changes oh so fast.
Exactly wrong, my friend. I urge you to leave the fact-finding to experts,
You there, a word, if you please.
Of course, ma'am.
Ta! If the Slayer is not stopped, it will slaughter every living thing in this city. As one of those things, I'm particularly eager to stop it.
Grovekeeper? Are you a gardener? We aim to cultivate mystery, not shrubbery.
Yes, quite. But there is some mild trauma.
I'll need to research the particulars, however. Give me a bit of time, and I'll have this little issue sorted.
Quite so. I was rather hoping you'd gathered all the rest of the adventuring paraphernalia yourself. You'll need every advantage. Slain by the Lord of Murder, and risen again to save Baldur's Gate. This is stupendous.
Fascinating. And how will she do that?
And just as then, he has more than one chosen to manifest his gruesome plot. He has Orin. They are a family set upon self-slaughter.
Glory. Now then.
And he has you.
Quite a firm lock, isn't it?
Volo Gadarm. World-renowned author, tastemaker, at your service.
When there are two or more, they will destroy one another until a single heir to the throne of blood remains.
You only have a matter of days to live. Don't dally, my friend. This isn't quite what I had in mind. Though, perhaps there's something we can do. Since their change in allegiance, these goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind.
Draw Ragslin! Draw Ragslin!
Come now, its spotted hat is most distinctive. And the flames of Avernus, would you describe them as execrable? And you would use that power for good? A risky proposition.
If we are to write your legend in the stars, then we must first give you a name. Oh, terribly sorry, but you mistake me, my friend. I'm only accepting complimentary feedback at this time.
Illithids, their technical name, form a hive mind. One shouldn't be able to hear their dark whispers. Unless...
But I'd rather talk about you. If I'm to write an account of the battle, I'll need details while they're still sticky.
Do as she says. Now.
Oh, my dear sweet gods!
What's an heroic story without a little risking of one's neck, eh?
Stop. Now? Witnesses failed to notice the obvious dragon.
No, it is for you to slay the dragons and for me to worry about the accolades. And thank you for my life, for the stories, for all of it.
I've never seen that particular organ before.
Why, of course, my good man. Storytelling with my particular panache is a calling one cannot ignore. It is splendid to see you again, my friend.
Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know. Quite shocking.
Volo Gadarm, realm-renowned author, and tastemaker.
Manuscript. Story of goblins. Absolute. Don't know how it ends.
No, please, no! But no harm, no foul, I suppose. What's an heroic story without a little risking of one's neck, eh?
You won't be surprised to find I'm soon to publish a little holiday read about our adventures together.
This lock, my friend. Surely a strong arm like you would make short work of it.
I must depart soon, but I insist you take this. You'll thank me when you try it on for size.
Drat! I can't help but feel partly responsible. Perhaps there is something more I can do. An invisibility potion, my friend. A bit less refined than your mendacious methods, but by God, it'll do the trick.
I am a living witness to Bhaal's defeat those 100 years ago. So I know your battle against him is not futile. He can be stopped.
Ah, but is superstition all? These goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I'd be irresponsible not to debunk such a strange claim.
I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart.
Ha ha! Hang the key. I see you've no need at all. Thank you for your help, my friend.
Now, there's a face I know well indeed.
I mean, yes. I suppose I can.
You stole a story from me. Courtesy demands I get yours in return.
You and I shall pen the book of your experiences together.
Not to meddle in your side of this partnership, but slaying goblins is not exactly the stuff of legends, is it?
Come, let's continue our ballad.
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking very well indeed. What you did at the Grove, I rather think the world should remember. Don't you? But rest assured that your story is in safe hands. Volo Gadam knows exactly what you are.
My friend, how do you fare? Ye gods! Can it be? How terribly compelling.
Ah, it's the star of the show, our humble protagonist who forsook Bhaal to save the city.
I am Draw-Ragslin, Tumptuous, Draw-Ragslin, a stranger in a fair camp.
This would be fascinating if it were happening to somebody else.
The creature's in your brain, somewhere behind the orbital socket. I could attempt to remove it. I've a needle in my tunic.
Quite a display, that was. Usually I'm the one providing the drama on nights such as these.
Though I admit I've hit something of an impasse. Please, unlock my cell.
That is not true, my friend. Whether you're descended from the gods or not, you have saved my hide more than once.
I'll write an anonymous account of your heroism, then. None will know your name, yet your doings will live on.
You have been quite busy, after all.
I smell drama amongst these adventurers. What have you heard? Can it be a Git Yankee? Oh, what a delight!
The Lord of Murder has returned.
Smashing! Soon, my friend. Soon we can share a flagon of something liquid and a tale of daring do. They did, didn't they? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. Open this cell, and I'll never forget the kindness.
I assure you, I've dreamt of it 1,000 times over.
No, the fault is mine. I chased the story at the cost of its protagonist. Forgive me.
It's no wonder you'd endeavoured to help them. Still, it's quite an impressive cost of goblin life. Ye gods, it's the Mercer's Gala all over again.
Gods, I really thought I was done for.
Don't worry, friend. I'll be sure to send your royalties by post once the manuscript's published. I'm certain I have your address around here somewhere.
I'll write an anonymous account of your largesse, then. None will know your name, but your doings will live on. I'm in no hurry to take my turn on that spit out front. Perhaps you'd be so kind as to unlock this cage?
Not sure what I have to offer a mind flayer, if I'm honest. But I hope my words of encouragement and reassurance will strengthen your resolve.
But no matter. Here I am, and here you are. Please unlock the cell, and we can both of us escape.
The secrets I would have taken to my grave if you hadn't intervened.
Are you sure? If I don't intervene, the parasite will continue to gestate inside you. You may not recognize me in these dire straits, but my name is Volo, realm-renowned author, and tastemaker.
Your modesty does you credit, my fine friend. But bards and biographers need sordid details.
Now look what you've done. His troops will disarm you and grow you the truth.
You should get some rest. You've had such a big day.
Finding is my job, my friend. If there's anything in the world worth knowing, I assure you, I do.
What a fun friend you've made.
I really thought you were the one.
I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to dawdle.
My friend, are you responsible for the state of these unfortunate souls?
Me? It's all Volo as far as I'm concerned. You do have a way with words, my friend.
I must deliberate. Go. Enjoy your evening. I shall have work for you in the days to come.
If you did not have the strength to resist those urges, you would have become a savage beast long ago.
I appreciate your editorial instincts, but Denier himself does not get a peek at my early drafts. Here, you can keep that copy. The details are very much burned into my memory.
Excuse me. A little help, if you don't mind.
I'll slip away when the coast is clear, and I wish you the greatest possible luck in your mysterious endeavors. Tar, you there?
Back to your revelry, then. When I have crafted your legend for you, no doubt you shall hear of it.
Come, fill the front row. Ha! Look at this. I'm quite saved, and by means most extraordinary.
I have been known to exaggerate the truth on occasion, but do not take me for a fool.
But I am engaged in celebration of the purest form, commemoration.
Such a historic deed must be documented in every gory detail. You triumphed over Bhaal's chosen? Marvelous! It will survive you, and so will I. From as great a distance as possible.
You poor soul. These goblins were spoiling for a fight under the banner of the so-called Absolute.
As he did 100 years ago, Bhaal has set his accursed sights on Baldur's Gate, and his temple runs red with the blood of the innocent. I believe the city may need a ballspawn, may need you, if it is to survive this new crisis.
Carry on! I am thoroughly impartial.
Help me! Please! I can't feel my legs! Ah, it's hot! It's hot!
Indeed. Some merciless kin of yours made sure of that some years ago.
The smell is bracing.
Am I mistaken?
Ah, I do wish I could understand you.
A child of Bhaal saved this city once before by slaughtering his foul siblings. Your companion may be able to repeat history, to be the hero we need.
Specifically, how not to extract them. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you.
Now, back to your revels. I have some details of your victory to rearrange. These beasts appear quite convinced that you're a comrade in arms, just as the tieflings were, I expect.
Tell me where we can meet each other once we've slipped the goblin yoke, and I'll offer much more than gold. Knowledge, my friend, is priceless.
Without you, it is entirely possible your companion would already be lost. Bhaal's will is not easily overcome.
The inn burnt to ash. The captives were many. Goblin kind had
Reduce them to cowering filfenny.
The unenlightened might see your actions there as no more than aimless slaughter.
You're either an excellent storyteller, or you've experienced something quite exceptional. We mustn't tarry, but I'd hate for our friendship to end here. Please, won't you meet me once we've both slipped the goblin yoke? Right, yes, more the fool me.
Just nosing out the facts. Something happened here, and it's my job, my calling, to discover what. Someone must collect the facts and arrange them in a clever order.
My friend, every story benefits from a dragon.
Come now, you don't want to be seen as a mere sequel.
It means nothing of the sort.
Alas, I've never learned to converse with your kind.
Curiouser and curiouser. But I'll not be deterred.
A pity. For Baldur's Gate may need Orin's counterpart, if it is to survive this crisis.
I don't need a promise, my friend. Only an honest attempt. Please do consider it.
Busy as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together. Oh, this little party will be excellent for my éclat.
Curiosity, my friend. It didn't benefit the cat, but it's the foundation of my career.
Use your voice. Always.
You? Why? And how? But wait, let me get a fresh quill. Now, you were saying, of course, my friend, but facts belong to no one and everyone. Please, what happened here? My quill is trembling in anticipation. Tell me everything. That is how he came to crave the power of the Bhaal spawn. He saw them not as living things, but as tools for his own machinations.
Volo Gedam, realm-renowned author, and tastemaker at your service. I suppose this is preferable to the dancing.
Aha! I knew I could count on you, my friend. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'll make it very quick. Hand to heart. It's not too deep. Just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
I was hoping your better nature might come to the fore. Perhaps you never had one.
Wait! Draw Raxlin, we pray,
I suppose thanks are in order.
I can't rightly document your deeds from the bottom of a goblin cookpot, after all.
This is not the first time your kind have threatened Baldur's Gate, and the city still stands.
Back to the revelry with you. I'll give the matter some thought in small council.
The scandal!
That ballad was but a crude preview, a frame without its crowning jewel, your nom de guerre.
Isn't it?
Oh, but you must. There's nobody else available. No. Please, no! I take it back! Psst. Don't just stand there. Help me, goddamn! Help me! Well, discretion guides me, but so does my duty to enthrall the reader, to swell their hearts and dampen their cheeks. Preposterous! There's no harm sharing knowledge, my good man.
Ah, of course. Good thing we cleared out of there, by the by. These goblins are planning a raid on the place as we speak.
What the devil was that?
His name is Draw Raxlin, his voice absolute.
You're mad! But...
Oh, that would be telling, wouldn't it? But believe you me, my friend, not a word could have been written without you.
I have no steel or spell to gift you, but I hope my words of encouragement and reassurance will strengthen your resolve. Are you quite sure?
As you wish. But I'd be quite careful to whom I go spreading such rumors.
See you guests aren't bored. The last thing we want is for them to make their own fun.
As you wish, my friend.
When the transformation occurs, I can only hope you are far away from me.
Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation.
Oh, fantastic! That squint does wonders for your gravitas, in my humble opinion. Here, on the Sword Coast. Impossible!
Of course not. As compensation, I can assure you the tale of your heroism will live on forever.
Please, get me out of here!
If we managed it, we'd have a specimen of incredible rarity on our hands. Have it your own way. The important thing is, we've learned a great deal about these parasites.
No! I mean to say, I am quite content behind bars. A precautionary measure, you understand.
Now I just need a brave adventurer, willing to face Bhaal's chosen, and to put the knowledge into practice.
Goblin kind will tease you and frolic you when redded.
I can't attest to the specifics, but I do know that not long after insertion, the host, that's you, turns into a mind flayer. Pardon me, I must prepare to travel. Good day, my friend.
Oh, an individual of some learning, I see. You're quite right. Of course not. I am only here to bear witness.
A joy to see a familiar face in such a precarious setting.
But I nearly have it.
The battle in the temple itself. It seems you followed in the bloody footsteps of the gate's old Bhaal-spawn hero.
Witness mistook obvious silver dragon for brass.
They're quite dead now, as you know. Too dead to provide a single meaningful quote.
If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly...
I wonder if we could continue this elsewhere? You've a brain I'd like to pick.
You? Infected by a mind flare? Ridiculous.
I see that. You have at least a measure of self-control. But Bhaal's inheritance is not shrugged off so easily.
Ah, my good fellow. Ah, my good friend.
Volo Gedam, realm-renowned author, and tastemaker at your service.
Until we meet again. But he's been quite captured by them already. Ironic, really.
I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form.
I don't think so. Not this time. It has to be you.
Why, of course. You're the one with the name. I dare say the experiment has proven most fruitful, too. I'll be happy to share my findings once we've found somewhere safe to parley.
The heart of a Bhaal-spawn is a flipped coin that lands on its edge.
Draw Ragslin's best. Make us a blade in the quarry. Yes, my friend?
Uh-huh. I've always preferred experience to the second-hand accounts of lesser men. But to each their own.
God's bless you, friend. I'll wait till the coast is quite clear and be gone.
A new age is dawning with goblins at trust.
Why, I never...
Nonsense! It is my dedication to truth that endangers my well-being, and I have uncovered the most startling truth imaginable. Oren is his chosen. And like Sarevok before her, she is able to take on the savage form of the Slayer.
I see.
Well, luckily I cannot claim to know any such unfortunate.
With fragulous crown and with sceptre abraid, draw Ragslin, short work of the innkeeper made.
The druid Halson had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close.
You must have seen your share of horrors in Avernus. Tell me, does the fang-tooth Dopplerback have 3 spikes or 4?
Quite the cosy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. Thank heaven you were here to specify, or I might have recorded a bold-faced lie.
And there is a way. I have a study of the beast, penned by the wizard Irenicus himself. It contains all of the knowledge needed to slay the Slayer.
Why, By design, my friend. How better to learn the ways of a people than to live among them? You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came, you saw them up close?
But not all of those who stood against him survived, and those who did were never the same again.
Away and have your fun. I have a myth to make.
Quick mind, silver tongue.
Quite so. Now, if you'll excuse me...
It is for Callum Ford to judge you, when the time comes. May he do so justly.
And I'd like to help, the only way I know how, with a guidebook. This one did not flow from my quill, but from that of the wizard Irenicus.
To the goblins camped nearby, of course. I've been tracing their doings with great care.
I'll be no trouble, my friend. Name a location, and I'd be happy to meet you there. Ah, the guest of honor arrives. I've been observing the festivities from a sensible distance. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft, and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Oh, I wouldn't bother you with such things during a party. And anyway, I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form.
Bless you, my friend. I'll wait nicely, but please don't tarry.
And do you think Volo Gedam got where he did by waiting to be asked?
I'll tell you all about it. But not here. Too many eyes, ears, and weapons about. Meet me at your camp.
That will sound ridiculous.
But fine, if you insist, as much as it pains me to cede creative control.
I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company.
Pish-posh. That strutting tyrant has a long reach and a steel fist, but he's a puppy dog compared to the real horror that haunts our streets.
Good gods! What a boom!
Oh, never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket.
The truth, my friend. Not a jot more or less.
Once I've written you into one of my books, there won't be a tavern in Faerun you can enter without receiving a hero's welcome.
To you? Never.
Something iconic, but not too much of a mouthful. We don't want to exclude the common folk, after all. I intend this tale to enrapture all.
Oh, certainly not.
Yes? I'd heard tell of a goblin camp that had been overtaken by some new upstart god.
Here, Volo, I cry far and wide for great glory.
Oh, you certainly do, my dear.
Ah, my friend, we can speak freely. Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement. I seem to have misplaced it. It was a fine bauble, a replacement for your eye.
Now, where was I?
Violently done, that.
Always, my friend. But the villain I must needs slay today is my greatest yet. A deadline.
Yes, I see. Ye gods! Then let us add ignorance to your list of crimes. I am Volo Gedam, realm-renowned author, and tastemaker.
It is the story of friendships forged and alliances that did not break, even in the darkest times.
You, of all people, will, know what I mean. Best not to hang around. Whoever is responsible for this mess may still be here. Unless this was your doing,
Indeed. I have traveled the realms seeking daring and danger. Stick with me, Amira, and you shall be safe as a vault. Yours is a family set on self-slaughter. But I suppose you'll have to deal with the Illithids first. Please do tell me when you've thwarted every apocalypse that's currently in motion.
Oh, I'd imagine him quite displeased. You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you.
Bad? The people want to hear the truth of the matter, not some trumped-up song and dance.
Far be it from me to pry. Now, as you were saying, Lasha Booyag,
And he has an arsenal of choice names for those who don't.
As you wish. Perhaps when the scars have healed, we can reopen them. It will give the people of Baldur's Gate much hope to hear your tale.
Tell me, did you see what happened here?
And you know what they say, the bigger the story, the more people want to kill you for it. The Dream Eater. In the end, though Irenicus took the form of the Slayer for himself, it was a Bhaal spawn who thwarted him, the same that saved Baldur's Gate.
It's simply that, for the life of me, I cannot imagine what that purpose was. Could you elaborate?
In times gone by, there was an errant-hearted Bhaal spawn who stood against his foul father and brother, Saravok. Do something!
please, a hand?
Whatever happens next, be sure that I will document it all as accurately as possible.
I could write something in the Absolute's honor if I knew more about her.
Do my eyes deceive me? A drow! Here!
Tell me, have you noticed any residual psionic malaise since the alleged encounter? Naturally, I wouldn't pry, no matter what the temptation. It's just...
The true souls are coming! The Lounders awake!
a wonderful one indeed. But your deeds loom larger than life now, my friend. You simply must have a title to match.
Who says you're the titular hero, Oh, I jest, probably. But believe you me, I couldn't have written a word without you. I suppose thanks are in order. Again?
Pish-posh! Allies are a difficult find in the area, my friend. You'll want Volo in your corner, believe you me.
Do my eyes deceive me? A Dwagar! Here!
I knew you would. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword. Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you.
Why, you're naming, quite obviously.
I guarantee the story of your daring rescue of my person will live on for eons.
A genius.
Exiled from his home in the elven paradise of Soldanessala, when he attempted to seize the power of life itself, he instead turned his magnificent mind to murder on a grand scale.
Yes, I see. And is that with 2 R's or 1?
Shocking little creatures, aren't they? Still, there's quite a bit more to them than most accounts allow.